Here we have the Nissan 2014 Murano, and I'm standing about, I don't know, maybe a good 7 or 8 feet away from the car. So this is what you would expect it to look like from this distance here. It's when you get a little closer is when I start seeing some blemishes, and I'll go ahead and point that out. I know from here I can just see a slight discoloration from the front bumper cover to the adjacent panels. The other panels look a little darker, and this one's got a lighter shade to it. But again, I know when it comes to like the front and rear bumper covers, it's a polyurethane material, and I typically see resprays on these parts of the cars. So not that I'm making excuses, but I need to point out what I see. All right, so go ahead and moving in. We're about 4 feet away, 3 feet. So the car looks pretty decent from this distance here. Starting off with the right side headlamp, I don't see any cloudiness, no cracks or no stress cracks, no chips. The dash is in decent condition. Dash. The grill is what it's called. Okay, looks like it's good. You can see where there's some spotting in there, but if I wipe away at it, it just cleans right off. So the car can just use a good detail. I had to dust it down when I first got here. I think it's because of the fires. All the cars are pretty dusty, so I was able to wipe that down at least. Just a little blemish there on that front bumper area. Again, left side wiper looks good. Let's, oh, okay. Here, there is a nice little blemish right there. It's chipped away at the paint, so that would need to be repainted to correct that. There's no quick fix for that as far as like buffing or touch up. Okay. Starting off with meter readings. I've already hit all the panels, and they're pretty consistent, 4.5. So I didn't see any obvious signs of repaint. Again, just some little blemishes, little rock chip here, rock chip here. Here, what I typically see is this being bird droppings that have been left on the paint too long, and then the acidity had just kind of ate away at the clear. You could have that buffed out, color sanded, and it would improve it, but you would always see a little remnants of it. So, move on. Left fender. Let's see. Okay, 4. Okay, 3.5. Looking at the windshield, no chips, no cracks, and no signs of obvious signs of delamination. Still looks like an original glass. It's got the Nissan stamp on there, and I got the public ID already. Let's take a quick look at the dash, checking for any cosmetic blemishes or defects in workmanship or materials. Looking at the left front wheel well area. Start with that again. Just a quick scan. Nice shot of the strut. And not seeing any signs of impact damage. Okay. Rim has a couple. No, it's not curb rashed. Okay, this rim looks. Oh, here it is. I know I saw something. So we've got some minor curb rash here. There are companies out there that can repair that to where it looks like new again. The tire is a Nexen 235/55 R20 105V is the speed rating, and the data manufacturer on this one is 2018. Rotor looks good as far as the surface, and then here's a quick shot of the brake pad that comes out. From what I can see, it looks like there's plenty of material there. All right, starting from the bottom side panel, just kind of manipulate the angles a little bit. I'm just checking for any signs of waviness, dings, or dents. The car does have some light ones, more so on the right side. And shot of the outside mirror, not all scraped up, looks good. Interior looks decent. All right, glass in good shape. One thing I did notice on these convertible tops, I always pay attention how the glass meets up to the top, and as far as its sealing, it's got an automatic drop feature. So when you first open the door, the glass doesn't hang up on the lip of the convertible top. That works, but the problem is when you close the door, it's supposed to go right back up, and you can see. And when we do the right side, you'll notice there is a difference from the way the glass fits to the top versus this side right here, where I can get like a pinky in there. See, I'm able to stick my pinky right there. So that's something that needs to be looked at. Okay, here's a view of the convertible top material. I'm not seeing any tears or stains as of yet. All right, It's nicely scratched in this little area right there. This stuff, typically you can get that buffed out. And it does have some chips here alongside the edge of the paint. Again, there's some more blemishes here. Shot of the quarter panel. 4, good solid reading. 4 and 4. At the rear of the convertible top area, we can see where it is. Something's going on here. Looks like it's coming apart. I don't like to pick at it too much, but and you can see where it's flipped out here. Sometimes when they're depending on the dealership, they'll work with you as far as addressing some of these little concerns. All right, left rear tire. Quick shot of the wheel well area. Okay, left rear tire. It's Nissan 235/55 R20, the 105V as the speed rating. This one here does have a little bit more curb rash going on here. You see that? Okay. And rotor looks good. And a quick shot of the brake pad. And then one view here from the backside. I see there's a couple of light dings there on the door, but when you look at it straight on, I didn't notice it. It's when you get these little specific angles, so you really have to really look for them to see it. And I see it right there just below the door handle. Rear bumper area, lens is good. No scrapes back here. Everything seems nicely secured. Looks like it's missing the antenna here on the back. View of the soft top. And it's, here it's dusty. I can't use my duster on it because it leaves all the lint behind on there. So, got that going on. Back bumper here area, good. Just a couple readings. I know it's good already. And no scrapes, nothing here. Here, soft top again. Right here, just some of the stuff coming out. Right. Okay. Then a side view. So here are some soft dents right here. It's hard to see. You have to use, I mean, you don't have to, but I use a solid white line. I try to find something, and I kind of work the angle, and that's where I can see it, but it's nothing obvious. Typically, let's see, I might be able to see it there. Excuse me. What I notice on these like soft dents, typically a talented dentless paint removal company can iron those out to where you don't ever see it ever again. Okay. So the soft dent there, panel good. 4, quick view of the wheel well area. Okay, still looking at the Nissan tires. Good. And then let me just take a look at the production, 2018, good. And then some curb rash here on this one. Rotor, good. Brake pad there. Looks like there's plenty of material, but I'll have to view that later. And then let's continue on. So you can see what I mean as far as comparing the left side to the right side. You can see where the glass is completely flush with the seam of the convertible top. I can't even get a finger in there, nothing, right? So that's the way it should be. Okay, just the long scratches again there. That stuff can really get ironed out. Little ding right here. I can't even see it, but it's there. Outside mirror, good. Fender, oh, let's get the readings. 4, good. Left or right fender, 4.5, good. So the panels came out solid. No signs of post-factory repaint. Just cosmetic blemishes. And shot of the rim. More curb rash. Tires are good. Rotor looks good. And get a shot of the brake pad. I'll go ahead and push back here one last time on this segment and move on. We're gonna go ahead and do the startup here. We're gonna make sure that all the lights come on, listen to the starter, how it engages, and also how quickly it starts. So here we go. Okay. I'll review the lights later as well. Started up fairly quick. good. Out mileage is 73,990. One thing I did notice though, when I was in the car earlier, is that this convertible top warning light's coming on. So I'm gonna mess with that when I get to that portion of it, as far as lowering it then raising it, to see if that light goes out. So we'll be mindful of that. The idle's just under 1,000 RPMs cold, so typically that goes down a little lower as the engine warms up. And let's go ahead and take a walk outside real quick. Same thing as before. We'll take a look at the exhaust. We don't want to see any abnormal smoke coming out, blue, black, gray, or white. The exhaust tips look pretty clean, actually, so that's kind of nice. I don't know if they cleaned them or it's been that way. If that being the case, it's burning pretty clean. That's a good sign. Not seeing any smokes. Stay quiet here for a couple seconds. And again, we're just listening for the exhaust tone, any backfiring. Looking at the underside of the hood, insulation is good. EPA sticker matches 2014. Good. Shocks are supporting the weight of the panel. Nice. All right, no signs of repaint. Engine bay is in looks clean. I've looked for rodent nesting. I've looked for impact damage, and everything is good. Nothing obvious jumping out at me. I checked the power steering, coolant already, engine oil, and remove the oil filler cap as well to look inside. Brake fluid is the right color, nice tan color there. Engine looks like it's been detailed. And the brake fluid good. I've checked the engine belt. That looks good as well. I ran the battery test. Good recharge. I typically see recharge on dealership cars because they sit sometimes for days, weeks, or even months. But it is showing that's good. So meaning it's a rechargeable battery. The cranking is normal, and charging system, no issues there. I've already checked all the lights when the salesman was with me. So low beam, high beam, turn signals, and hazards working. Same with the back. And I checked the license plate light and the reverse lights, brake lights as well. Quick look here. RPM has dropped now down to about 700 or so. That's a little bit more on the normal side. And wrap it up here. I've been driving about 3 to 4 miles already, and so operationally everything is worked. Cruise control, braking, transmission shifts smooth. It's got that CVT transmission. Didn't find any operational issues there. Navigation, radio, that all works. AC's blowing cold, heater works, heated seats, all check that. Because of the traffic, I think I've gotten maybe like a top speed of 45, 50 miles an hour at one point. At that speed, I didn't feel any shimming coming from the steering wheel. And going at the higher speed, at least I was able to stop a little more aggressively. And I didn't notice any shimmy coming from the steering wheel as well, or shakes as a result of maybe warped rotors. So it was pretty solid coming to a stop. Cruise control operated as well, windows working. The power top, I operated that a couple of times to see if that light will go out. So it does go out for a brief moment once the top is completely cycled, as far as being completely closed. But then that next second, the light will come on. And when I ran the diagnostics, there were faults in the system for the convertible top, so there's definitely something going on there. Windshield wipers work, lights, rear lights, all operational. Didn't see a owner's manual when I looked at the glove box, and the interior trim looks like it's in decent condition here around the console area, but on the door panel it's a little beat up, and then as well as like the seatbelt area, probably when they release the seatbelt, it just let it clash against the interior panels. But I've got pictures of all that. I'm heading back to the dealership now and go ahead and wrap up the segment of the video.